This week on NintenDomain, we're going to talk about the Switch event.
Is it going to be all we hope it is?
I hope so. Welcome to NintenDomain, episode 57. We're your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson. With me, as always,
Jeremy Mikowski.
And we're here. We're actually sitting across from each other. We're not doing this over the internet, so.
Oh, yeah. My name is Jeremy. Is Karen going to be there? Mikowski.
Karen. Yeah. I should have thought up a nickname for myself.
But yeah, I'm really here. I'm in Chicago, Illinois. And we're going to this Switch event tonight. And
we are actually
pretty stoked for it.
Actually, in like an hour, we're going there. So
soon.
So yeah, we're in anticipation here, but we're going to do a quick news segment, and then we're going to talk about stuff we hope to see there, and then we're going to take a break, and then when we come back, we're going to be post-Switch event, so we'll tell you all the stuff that we did, and hopefully we got to play some stuff. So let's start off with the news this week. One big one that happened that that everybody's been talking about is DLC for Breath of the Wild. What do you think about that?
I didn't like seeing it. It gave me a sinking feeling in my stomach when I first saw it, but reading more into it, it's just, I guess it's kind of a reward for people that play all the way through the game to get some more out of it.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
sure.
They said something about some treasure chests that have shit in them. I don't know what that means, if it's going to make the game easier to get that shit, in which case that kind of sucks, but it's one flat fee for all the DLC, and everything they released for Mario Kart was great.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't something really new. Like the Mario Golf game on 3DS that had a season pass, and Hyrule Warriors did too.
But this is an adventure game. Hyrule Warriors arguably might be considered an adventure game. I'd say it's more just an action game, but
yeah, I mean, I thought that the season pass for Hyrule Warriors was really good though. I mean, it basically added all these extra characters. Like I got the season pass, and it was totally worth it because you got to play as Ganon, like Beast Form Ganon, and you got like all the extra guys that they added, you just got as they came out. So it gave me a lot of reason to keep returning to the game and playing it. It seemed like there was something new every time I played it.
I guess I wish that you didn't have to pay for the DLC. I wish that they just upgraded Zelda eventually. But, you can't, on any of the other consoles, I can't really think of any games that come out that don't eventually have some extra content that you can download later. All the adventure games, even the Final Fantasy games, and isn't there some stuff coming out for Final Fantasy, some extra downloads soon?
Yeah, I mean, everything is. Like, even like...
It's the way of the world nowadays.
Yeah, and like I said, Nintendo has embraced it to a point. Like, they did some Fire Emblem stuff was like that, too. Like, both Awakening and Fates both had downloadable stuff, had DLC stuff. So it's not completely new. It's just kind of crazy. I mean, I guess it's the first Zelda game that they did that has a DLC on it.
It's just, I don't know, something about it seems like it was a sacred thing that they're like defiling in a way. That's kind of how I feel, and I don't really know if that's a justifiable feeling, but Zelda's just like so special, and it always stands apart on its own. Each entry is its own thing and its own contained story with some sort of brooding, overarching narrative throughout all of them, but I mean, let's be honest, that was mostly written after the fact to make sense of everything, but
yeah. The hit story, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like Lord of the Rings, which turned out great. And that was just sort of like Tolkien wrote that to like give a backstory to the ring and ended up making something great out of it. So, I mean, similarly, I guess some extra content might be good, but I don't know. I mean, from what it sounds like, they already know what it's going to be, which means is it just not ready to go? Do they have to finish programming it?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm iffy about it, but I will definitely probably end up getting it, especially if I like the Zelda game, which I don't see why I won't.
Well, in reference to what you said on the Final Fantasy thing, the Final Fantasy DLC is kind of stuff they're using to fix the game, like stuff that people had problems with, like they're trying to fix Chapter 13, which nobody liked, the part where you had to play like Final Fantasy 13. So like a lot of the DLC that they're doing is supposed to like, make it a better game later. And I don't think Zelda's in that position, which is what a lot of games do now. They release a game a certain way, and if there needs to be changes, they'll change it as they go, you know. I know, like, one in particular, Lair, if you remember that game, that was a Factor 5 game for PS3. It was a launch game that used motion control to control this dragon, and the motion control didn't work at all. So later they released a patch to where you could use the joystick. But by the time that came out, nobody cared anymore. But, you know, stuff like that.
Too late.
But I think this is more like the Mario Kart 8 DLC, which that was really good. You know, I was cool with that because you added more characters and more levels, and that's what you want for Mario Kart.
It added, like, what, 2 full new cups?
Yeah, well, I think like 4. I think like 4 total. Because, well, each DLC, there were 2 DLCs, and they both had 2 full cups on them.
Okay.
So if you got all of it, you got 4. And I think was there a total of 8 new characters, I think? Like 4 for each?
That would make sense.
I believe.
Be a total of, everything would be a multiple of 4.
Yeah. Well, so there'd be 8 new tracks. And 8 new tracks, so there's 16. Because I know there's 4 new cups. Like there were 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom for how it's placed in the game. Just because Jess and I, we played a lot of those cups, like a lot of those new cups, because they're really cool, especially since F-Zero was in there. But yeah, I'm not really upset about it. Like, it's basically $20 for like the whole thing, right? And there's not really, you can't really get a part of it, right? Or is it split up in
No, it
different...
doesn't look like it's split up. I think it's just a single fee that you pay at some point. You can either wait until the content is released, or you can pay for it on day one, I think. Yeah. I think you can pay for it on March 3rd and just have it out of the way.
Yeah, that's what I did with Hyrule Warriors when I got Hyrule Warriors. I just went ahead and paid for the whole season pass. So as stuff released, I didn't have to worry about it.
Truthfully, I did save $12 by buying it on Amazon, so it'll end up only being $8 extra, really.
I mean, it could be a lot worse. Like when Arkham Knight came out for PlayStation 4, like that with its season pass was $100. It was $60 for the game and $40 for the season pass. And that game, you don't actually see the real ending unless you buy the whole $100 thing. Wow. So they could do that shit to you, you know, which a lot of people are pretty fucking pissed off about.
There would be some backlash for sure.
Or like I said before about like Electronic Arts with like Star Wars Battlefront, where it's like, here's like 5 levels, and if you want all these other ones, you got to spend like an extra $30 and buy like the season pass or get the ultimate version or whatever. Which is kind of like a punch in the dick there, you know. It's like here you go, here's a couple, but you like all these cool ones, well, you got to pay for that. So I don't think they're going to limit. I don't think they're going to limit the game in any way. But maybe if there's like an extra dungeon or something you can buy with that, I'm fine with that. You know,
an extra dungeon, yeah. Extra levels, especially. Okay, let's say it's post game. If it's like some extra post game stuff,
I think that's what it should be. I mean, that's what I'd like it to be.
Cool.
Yeah.
It looks like the hard or whatever the legendary, whatever you want to call it, the harder mode is part of that DLC.
Oh, okay. So is everything flipped on that version? Or are you left-handed?
I don't know. I wonder how they're going to do that.
Because they've been doing that with a lot of the new Zelda stuff. Which
I mean, they could just randomize the whole world and have everything in a different location like they usually do, which is hard enough. And it already looks like you take some serious damage from some enemies. Like, yeah, I can't wait. Really hard.
Can't wait to play it tonight. I mean, hopefully we'll.
Yeah, let's fucking play it tonight. I think we should.
Well, yeah, that's we should definitely. That's something we definitely should not miss. I mean, that's the big thing that I want to play is Zelda, of course.
I have a feeling that. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
Okay, yeah, we'll get to that. So yeah, DLC. It's I'm fine with it. It's just kind of unexpected, but then again, it is sort of expected, I guess. As long as it's not, like I said, as long as it's not something that you have to buy to complete like your first playthrough, which has happened on other systems. I just hope they don't do that.
I don't think they
I hope it's not something as dumb as like Horse Armor or something like that.
Right.
I saw some fake, some like joke thing that somebody made about what the DLC was. Did you see that? Where it's like, if you buy this DLC, you get extra long explanations about the rupee that you found.
Oh, right.
And it's like, yeah, it's just like a bunch of dumb stuff. And it's like, oh yeah, and you get this. It's like you get the dungeon that wasn't included in Wind Waker. You get to play that, like stuff like that. You know, there's some guy made up as a joke.
Which, of course, everyone knows. I think you're the one who told me that
was used in. Well, that's what Nintendo said in an interview, that they reused anything they were going to use in Wind Waker. They ended up using in Twilight, which makes sense.
It does
for the way they do things. But
especially since that was a rare case of 2 Zeldas on one console.
Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, that and 64
and NES, but
and NES and Game Boy.
Yeah, wait, hold on. The Wii U was the exception to the rule.
Well, I guess Game Boy. Well, you could play Oracle and And you could play those on straight up Game Boy too, right? Was it the black cartridge? I don't think it was.
No, they were Game Boy Color games.
Okay. So because you could say that was 2 for, well, that's still 2 games for Game Boy Color. I don't know. Different semantics. In other news, I saw that I saw that Sony is apparently aping Nintendo's ideas like they normally do.
They've submitted a patent for a similar looking device.
Yeah, they submitted a patent that looked very much like the Switch, with with some controllers that look like they'd be detachable, except they have little bottoms more like the DualShock. From what I read, they claimed that this was done back in 2015, though.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I mean,
I'm not taking it too seriously, especially considering they've had such bad luck with handhelds in the past.
Yeah.
Like, are they really going to hop back into that?
You'd be surprised. I mean, well, maybe they're just, I don't know. Because the Wii set the world on fire so much for motion control to a point that everybody kind of mimicked that, They made the PlayStation Move, which was like the same thing, mostly. And then there was the Xbox, whatever the fuck it's called. The camera that you move your hands.
Right, well, you got
Kinect.
Control sticks, Rumble, the D-pad. A lot of these things were Nintendo's shit first.
Sure, yeah. Well, yeah, analog stick, control pad for sure.
The
Rumble,
D-pad.
all that stuff. Yeah.
Was a Nintendo invention.
That's what I said, the D-pad. Or control pad, whatever you want to call it. So, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, maybe they're going to wait. If there was... I don't know. I don't know if people would really buy it if there was like a Switch for the PlayStation 4, like with the dock and all that. I think.
Well, they already tried their hardest when the PS4 first came out to make the Vita, the companion system to the PS4.
Yeah, because you could play some games on the Vita through Wi-Fi, I believe. I don't know. I don't have a Vita, so I haven't been able to try it. But Conan does. I think he might have used some of it, but maybe he didn't. I don't know.
The Vita, for what it's worth, I mean, I've always thought that it looked cool, and I always wanted to try one, but it still was never enough. The game library and never appealed to me in that way where I wanted to buy one. But
yeah, I'll tell you one thing about the Vita, and I've played the Vita. I played Conan's Vita, and it does look nice. It's just so freaking gimmicky because of like all the shit that they put into it, because of like the back touch and the front touch, and the like motion control. Like, Gravity Rush was a really cool game, I thought. Like, the one with the girl, and it's like a superhero type game. I don't know if you've heard of Gravity Rush.
Yeah, I heard of it. It was towards the beginning of it.
Yeah, it was towards the beginning. It was a game I really wanted to play, and I played that game on Conan's Vita. But man, it's so gimmicky. Like, you have to, like, fly up in the air and, like, pause in the air and then rotate your handheld around to, like, aim at a certain guy and then, like, touch the front pad and then, like, swipe the back touch, whatever. It's so dumb. Like, they did the same thing with, like, Uncharted on that, where you have to, like, move your finger across the screen to, like, make him climb in that way.
Right.
So like, they made it very gimmicky.
They were trying to make whatever you want to call it, like the killer app or whatever to utilize all the extra features. Which is, I mean, it's cool they have that on there, but I didn't feel like they needed to use it as much. And supposedly Gravity Rush 2 is better because of that. Because they didn't do all that stuff in there. Which I really liked the game, but I didn't like how you had to rotate the system so much to just play the game. Like, you should be able to just turn that off. Aside from Vita. Yeah, Sony, who knows? Maybe if the Switch does become this thing that Nintendo wants to do, you never know. They might try to do their own version of it, as they normally do. There was a video released, I don't know if it was last night or earlier than that. I watched it last night. But apparently a guy from NeoGAF called Hip Hop Robot or something like that, he got a Switch early. He got one sent to him that he reserved. Right. Supposedly this isn't even like a journalist or anything. It's just a guy that just got lucky, according to his own words.
Yeah. Why can't we be one of those guys?
Yeah, this showed up. On the... I saw it on the NBC yesterday, early afternoon, and I clicked on it, and at the time it was just pictures. He had just taken some pictures. And then someone on the NBC page was saying, he's uploading a video right now. It's at this percentage. So I was like, wow, I'm like catching this right at the beginning. So I did get to watch the video of the UI, but I didn't see the unboxing part of it. Like, he did the unboxing part later. Like, he did that after the fact. So I watched that late last night, and that's where I got to see it. I think there's more to learn in that video than there was in the first one.
Yeah, watch the unboxing video. And I referred to it as a clunker plug, but I was really disappointed that they went back to having the box on the plug. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
the big fat.
Yeah, every Nintendo system, they all have I guess every video game system has a box somewhere. Actually, the PlayStation 4 doesn't. But the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo have these big box plug things that go in the wall that are really annoying because it takes up all the other plugs. Especially if you have like a power strip or something like that. That's what I was getting annoyed about it because I already have a bunch of stuff plugged in and I'll have to unplug other stuff and
that's
rearrange
pretty much
everything.
A power supply, right? Is that what the equivalent in a computer would be?
Yeah.
Which would be internal usually.
Yeah. So like the box was at the end of the NES and Super Nintendo. And then the 64, the box plugged into the back of it. There's always been a boxy part of it. That plugged into the back of the system and it was part of the plug.
Yeah, that was weird. Just like a big clicky.
Yeah, a big clicky box thing you put in the back of the system.
But it was a little recessed into the system, so that was nice.
But then it made it a regular plug, and I was like, okay, cool. But I didn't think they'd go back after that. Because, like, the GameCube had a box, like, in between.
Right, so did the Wii and the Wii U.
And so did the Wii and the Wii U, but now they put the box back on the end of the plug. I don't know why that is, if that's a particular reason, but...
Probably just to minimize
weird
the
to me.
form factor of the dock as much as possible. Because the dock's just... I mean, all the dock is just... Like, it's. Do you have the dock for the Wii U gamepad that charges it?
Do I have the dock for the Wii U gamepad?
Yeah, where you click it in and it charges it.
Yeah.
It's the same as that in the sense that you're just passing plugs through it.
Yeah, but this one has a little box on it too. The plug on that one has a little box also. But it's in the cord.
But the dock from that video looks pretty flimsy to me.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, and they showed how you can take it apart and how you stick everything in there, and there's a little hook that you kind of rest it on. Like where you put in the HDMI and you put in the plug. There's like a side of it flips open.
Yep.
And there's like a little like like a little hook thing that kind of rests the cables on when you put it in there.
It reminds me a lot of the Virtual Boy AC adapter.
Oh, yeah.
That I've talked about before where you actually, the thing that hooks the controller pops open and it's got a hinge on it. And you pop it open and it's like a little U, like you said, where you plug your Super Nintendo adapter into it and then it's wide enough for the cord to get through, but not wide enough for the actual plug part so that it can't pull through, right?
Yeah, sure.
So I think that's similar to what the way this is set up with the Switch. It's just a dock. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's much to it.
Yeah.
$90 is it $90 for a replacement?
Yeah, I thought it was 80 or 90 for the dock in itself.
Seems a little steep, but we'll see whether or not
it's
necessitated.
I mean, what is it? Is it 80 for the Joy-Cons? I thought that was incredibly steep also.
The Joy-Cons, I believe, are... for the set.
They're 70 or 80 for two of them. I guess that's 40 each, but still.
I think the set is 80, but for one of them it's 50.
And I think the classic controller is 70.
Yeah,
the Pro controller is what I mean.
The Pro controller is 70.
Yeah, and most new controllers are 60, which I think is pretty high already. I know controllers are expensive, but 70, I mean, yikes.
Well, supposedly it has all the technology from the Joy-Cons in it.
Yeah.
From both Joy-Cons. So
it has HD rumble and motion and all that, I'm sure. Yeah. And it can scan Amiibo. That's that extra 10 right there, right?
I don't know if it has the proximity sensor on it or not, but
yeah, I don't know.
Out. Maybe we'll get to use that shit tonight.
Hopefully. In the video they also showed a little bit of the UI. Like they went through and showed like different stuff you can set. Wasn't somehow I guess they got from looking at the eShop that wasn't that where they determined that everything is based on your Nintendo ID now and
I
not
think
by
there
your
was
system?
a little like whatever, like a little technical blurb or whatever you call it down at the bottom that just said, everything's registered to your eShop account, and that what can be inferred from that is that it's no longer tied to a device like it has been since the Wii.
Yeah, so that gives me hope maybe that the games will transfer over, because the Nintendo ID was created during the Wii U time. Yeah, and the Nintendo IDs didn't exist,
and they pushed that I think
when
hard.
When the Wii was around, so that's why you had to do the system transfer from the Wii to the Wii U to get the discount, which was nice that you were able to do that.
Did the Nintendo ID happen just a couple years ago, right? Like 2 years ago? I mean, it's been relatively recent.
I thought you got you got a Nintendo ID when you got the Wii U. But the actual Nintendo account system came after that, but you were able to link them together. Yeah. When the Nintendo account started. Right. So, yeah. But I mean, it helped.
Which I've seen in action. I've downloaded a couple 3DS games that would pop up on my 3DS after messing with it on the website.
Oh, yeah. You can do that for some games. Well, I did that for WarioWare, the WarioWare Touch.
Yeah, that and the Zelda P-Cross.
Yeah, you can do that through that, too. What I hope they're going to do, I mean, what they should do is, like through Sony, where you can, buy everything online and it'll automatically download on your system. Like, if you're not, you don't have to be there.
Yeah. I hope so.
So it'll start downloading. So like while you're at work, you can be like, I'm going to buy this game, and then it'll start downloading, and then by the time you get home, it's already there, and you don't have to wait for it to download. That'd be a really cool thing. Like, especially for sales. I know you can do that for PSN sales. Like, if something's on sale, you can buy it from your phone and download it later, and still get that sale.
Yeah.
I remember my roommate Conan was trying to do that for the Wii U, even though he didn't have a Wii U, he wanted to get some of the sales stuff. But you can't do it like that. But maybe in the future you can for the Switch, which would be great.
It's crazy how far we've come, man. We're talking about the Switch. We're about to go play it. Just a few months ago, we didn't even know what the hell this thing was called.
Yeah, right? They just unveiled it.
Speculation.
Yeah. I mean, didn't they unveil it in like...
It was August, wasn't it? It was either August or October. One of those odd moments.
Was it? I thought it was... Yeah, I don't remember when the first thing was. I thought it was around Christmas, but maybe not.
It was either August or October. I'll have to look.
Maybe it was October.
That was the first one, and then, they were pretty tight-lipped that they wouldn't be releasing any more info until January, which for the most part was true. There were some leaks, but...
Sure. Yeah, well, there were a lot of leaks, and then there was the actual official thing. So I know this big release on the Wii U Virtual Console yesterday. Ogre Battle 64 is available, which I was pretty pumped about.
Which is a really great price for that game.
Well, it's $10, and you can get it for like $60 maybe at the cheapest on eBay. But I've seen it for upwards of like $300.
A lot of recent VC games, like for instance, I just bought, like we were talking about Mario vs. Donkey Kong last week. I was just about to download it on my Wii U, and then I said, well, I'm going to look and see what it costs to buy the actual cart. And it was, it was $6 or $7 or whatever it was on the eShop, and then it was $10 to buy it, the actual cartridge with shipping. I opted for that choice, and I'm happy I did. That's sort of what I like to do anymore usually, but something like this game, of course I'm not going to drop a bunch of money to play this game. Like $10 if I want to play it, it seems like a really fair price.
Well, this is just something that I've heard people talk about, and I played a little bit of it, like when we were still in college together. Like I remember renting it from Blockbuster or wherever they had it, and playing some of it. I was still kind of wanting to play something that was more like Final Fantasy, like more turn-based stuff, and I hadn't really played any strategy-type games. So, I wasn't really into it, but I'd like to give it another go. Like, I never really got into the Ogre Battle stuff, but now that I'm more well-versed in turn-based strategy stuff, I'm ready to give it another go.
On there's one on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah, I remember that. I forget what it's called,
okay.
But it was on there.
And in fact, I think it's only been released on the Wii Virtual Console. I think that I downloaded that way after the fact.
The Super Nintendo one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember what that one's called.
It's like something of Lordly Caliber or something.
No, that's the 64 one.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, 64 one is Person of Lordly Caliber.
Oh, no, it's got a long name like that, though.
Yeah, it's called Ogre Battle 64, Person of Lordly Caliber is the full name of that one. But it looks like a Super Nintendo game, so it might be... It doesn't really look a whole... I mean, it's like a 2D... It's like, has the
March of the Black Queen.
Yeah, that sounds like Super Nintendo one. Yeah.
Came out in 93.
Yeah. What we were talking about earlier is the Ogre Battle that came out for Wii. It came out towards the end of the Wii, and now it's coming out again for the end of the Wii U, so maybe they want to keep them going at the same time. But still, that's a very cool game to get, like, while there's, I guess you could say, 2 weeks left for the Wii, even though I'm still getting a Wii U Zelda, which is going to be on sale at midnight for some places, so I'm going to try to pick that up on Thursday if I can. I think the Best Buy I reserved it at...
Yeah, you might get to start playing Zelda a day or two before I do.
Yeah. Well, the place that I reserved it at isn't going to have midnight release, I guess, but I'm just going to try to go to one that's opening at midnight and see if I can just buy a Zelda one. I'll take the other one back. I'll exchange them. I don't think it's going to be that hard to buy a Zelda Wii U versus getting a Switch system.
I don't either. I don't think that the demand's there.
So I was going to try to see if I can get it, or maybe I'll just reserve 2, and if I get the one at the midnight place, I'll cancel the other one. But I'm not going to cancel one before the other, But if I can get it Thursday night, I would love to, because then I can get a jump start on it before we start talking about it.
That would be cool. That would be one of the advantages of getting it on the Wii U. A visible advantage from the day one that you get to start playing it a little earlier.
Yeah.
If that, in fact, happens for you.
I'm surprised they haven't done any sort of preload stuff. I mean, I want a disc just because I think it's going to be rare. But I'm surprised they haven't done any sort of pre-buy, preload thing yet, actually, since it's only 2 weeks away. Normally they've done it soon.
And I feel like they've done it. Works really well for building hype, too.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised they haven't done that. Maybe there's still, maybe there's some last minute patches and stuff they're still working out on it.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, this is 2 weeks. I would be, if it doesn't come out by like next week, I'd wonder that there's not a preload yet. Or maybe they're waiting till the last week. I don't know.
Oh yeah, one thing we didn't mention about that leak with the UI and stuff is that the guy tried clicking on the eShop and it basically just said that an update was required.
Yeah. Of course, yeah.
Which makes sense. Like, so no matter what, Nintendo's got their ass covered that you don't know what's happening with the eShop until they say so.
That seems about right. Like most systems that you buy anyway, like even if it's after the fact,
day one update.
You have to update it right when you start it. I know that even the Wii did that.
The Wii U is like a crazy bad one. I heard if you bought it at launch, it's like hours and hours of downloads.
Oh, really? Yeah, I didn't buy it at launch, so I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't have to deal with that either.
Like I remember playing mine pretty quickly after I got it, but I got mine a couple of years in, I think, or I don't know. It was whenever Super Mario 3D World came out. That's when I got it. Let's see, we got a couple things to go through real quick before we head off. There's some stuff with the guy from Grasshopper, right?
Oh yeah, Suda51.
Suda51, yeah, about his presentation on the Switch reveal.
Right. So I'm not sure what DualShockers is, but it's a website. They must do game news and stuff. But they were interviewing Suda51, and they asked him about that translation snafu that happened during the Switch presentation, and he just was saying how bad he felt and how he hoped that it wasn't causing trouble for the translator and how he would like to fly to Seattle and have lunch with this translator and just what a swell guy. But according to him, he was following the teleprompter about 80%.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I heard, that he was maybe saying a little slang or some stuff that you may not necessarily understand if you don't live in Japan or speak fluent Japanese.
Well, he also did say foreign people over here probably didn't know what I was talking about.
Yeah, but Nintendo still thanked him, right, for what he did on the show and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said, like, oh, he did a great job. But maybe America didn't fully get it.
He did a good job for them.
I didn't understand anything. I knew it was just a whole lot of him being like, yeah! Doing his, like, with the devil horns and all that. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Whatever he's doing, hopefully he's doing another No More Heroes. It made it sound like he was making a wrestling game with Travis Touchdown.
Travis is in it.
Which sounded even weirder.
And we're thinking it might be kind of like, wrestling.
Yeah, it was really weird. Apparently there's some pictures online showing that Karen would be at the Switch presentation. Hopefully we'll see her. Maybe it's, I don't know.
Are we going to see Karen?
That would be cool. We should try to kidnap her and have her come back and do that would be pretty hard.
I wonder if she's still rocking that same,
same sweater.
Quirky haircut.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to call it quirky.
It's not that quirky.
It's quirky like Zoe Deschanel quirky. She's so quirky.
Yeah. I don't know.
I would love to see Karen tonight. I mean, I think that might be the highlight of the show for me if I see Karen tonight. Probably not though.
Well, let's speaking of which, let's segue real quick into what we want to see from the show. Yeah, because we got about like 10 minutes before we have to go. That clock's 5 minutes fast.
Okay, yeah.
So we got about like 10, 15. Well,
the anticipation is bubbling.
Anyway, let's talk really quick what we want to see. Number one, we said earlier we want to see Zelda for sure, but
and we want to play Zelda.
How long do you think we'll get to play Zelda for?
I can't imagine that we're going to get more than 5 minutes of playtime each of that game.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. Like, what do you think you're going to go do first? Like, if you're just out there and you can just go, are you going to go like roll a boulder down a hill or something, or try to cook some food?
I want to get up somewhere high and jump with the leaf.
Oh yeah, if they give you that.
That's cool.
Well, I remember
I would like to set some stuff on fire too.
Yeah, they had the E3 demo that I guess like they said that it was impossible to get through that even in the time that you had. I don't know. I'm sure it's a time thing. Hopefully it's more than 5 minutes. But I really obviously want to play Zelda, but I want to play all the other stuff, because I'm still not really that excited about the Switch aside from Zelda.
Right.
So I want to play 1-2 Switch.
I just want to get on whichever Switch I can get on the fastest, no matter what game it is.
Oh, sure. Yeah, we should go to wherever there's not a line at first. But I want to play Snipper Clips with you. I think that'll be fun. I want to play ARMS. We could do some 2-player stuff doing that. I want to try 1-2 Switch, see if they can convince me on its weirdness and that it's something I should get. Those are ones I figured I'd play for sure. I've heard Splatoon 2 might be there. It was at like the E3, so maybe they might have some of that with this, even though it's one that's coming out later. There were, well, not E3, but whatever the last thing they did in New York, like right after the reveal in Japan, They had Splatoon 2 there.
The thing where they had the Zelda escape room or whatever.
I think that was after. But
else.
like after we saw the reveal, there was a thing in New York that they did after that that a lot of people went to. This Splatoon 2 was playable there. So there might be a chance it'll be playable here because it's supposed to come out like not that far after the Switch comes out. Like I thought it was planned for like April or something.
Well, and they're doing one of those free events where you can play it.
Oh yeah, another test thing. You should. Oh, I think I've showed it to you before. I was like, you should play my Splatoon and try it out. But I think I've already shown it to you. The Wii U game one. It's a fun game. But yeah, I'll hopefully play some of that. Maybe they'll have some of that Mario Kart Deluxe there. Maybe like Bomberman, like Sonic Mania, like some of those other like side games that were on there. Maybe we can test those out a little bit.
Yeah.
Be cool if they had like I would be happy if Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2 was there. But
I would love
that's probably aiming too high.
I would love it if I played a game that besides Zelda that I wanted to buy that was a launch. Near launch.
That's hoping what I'm
because I want something. I'm sure that I'm going to get frustrated with Zelda from time to time, and I'm going to want to switch over to something else. I don't want to just have one game on my docket.
Yeah, I'm really interested about what's going to be the cheaper games that you can get online. Like that's what I'm excited about. I want to know what's on the eShop, and I want to be able to play my Switch for a while so I can talk about it on the show. You know.
Yeah.
And since I'll be playing Zelda on Wii U, I want to be able to play something on the Switch in the meantime. So, I mean, I'll probably get I Am Setsuna or like Snipper Clips or something like that. But it'd be really cool if there was some virtual console stuff like right out the gate. I would really like to play around with that.
VC we hadn't seen yet. But
yeah.
I do like the thought of taking a lot of these things we already have to go.
Sure.
Just being able to play these, like play a 64.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it'd be great.
Or even like Super Mario 64. Like if I can play that on there, I'd be happy about it. Or like some Super Nintendo games, or But I don't think we're going to see anything about the eShop. But you never know. Like when I went to the Nintendo booth at the Midwest Gaming Classic, I kind of drilled the guys there. They'll probably be the Illinois representative or whatever for Nintendo, which I applied for a couple times, so they never called me back. But
these people by no means have all the knowledge, but it's worth seeing.
But they're kind of fun to interview anyway. To like sort of like try to see what you can get out of them.
Yeah, maybe we'll get some of them on camera tonight.
Yeah, we're going to try to shoot some stuff. I know they want you to post stuff to social media, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we can film anything there. So that might be a roadblock. I don't know, but
I've seen a lot of.
Have you seen videos?
Stuff from YouTubers, like the professional YouTubers that have posted stuff. So
okay, cool. So we're going to try to record ourselves playing stuff. So and put that on the website, YouTube.
I think that it's beneficial to Nintendo for everyone to do that. That's why they're requesting it. It's more free advertisement for them, and it's just putting more coal into the hype train,
Sure. Yeah. No, for sure. That's what you never know. I'm just saying, like, maybe we'll get stopped. But we're just bringing a phone in. We're not bringing a camera, so.
Right. We're not getting too fancy with this, but, we're 2 weeks out. I just want to steal some photos is mostly what I care about. I want to hold this in my hand and.
Yeah, we get to see how small it is. It'll be interesting. Yeah, I want to see how little the Joy-Cons are. I'm sure they're tiny.
They're itty bitty.
Yeah. So yeah, we get to play Joy-Cons. Hopefully, we can play some Street Fighter.
They're the size of a pack of Juicy Fruit.
Yeah.
No, I think they're a little bigger than that.
They look small. They look really small, like the size of a Pez, maybe.
Maybe a Pez might be accurate.
A Pez dispenser.
The way a Pez fits in your hand.
No, not like
you might be onto something.
Not like the candy, but the dispenser.
No, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
The thing that you rip its Adam's apple out.
Yeah, that thing.
Well, I'm hoping to see Shigeru Miyamoto. I hope he's there tonight. Reggie will probably be there.
Yeah, Bill Trin will be there, right?
Of course Bill will be there.
Bill!
As long as there's donuts, he's going to be there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't expect to see anybody from Nintendo except for Karen. She should be there.
If Karen were there, man.
So she works for Nintendo now.
Blow my mind, man.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Well, I think we got to head off here, but once it'll only be like 30 seconds for you at home, like from now and in the future when we get to talk about the Switch. So I'd be excited if I was you.
And we're gonna be drunk too. No, we won't.
Maybe we might have a beer. I don't know.
But we'll be drunk on excitement.
We'll definitely be drunk on excitement. That's for sure. So we should probably head out, but we're gonna take a break, and then after this, Switchness.
Switch. shit, we're back.
Holy shit. So, yeah, we spent 3.5 hours doing some switching.
So much switch.
Yeah, so much switch. So tell me, what do you think, what did you think of it as a whole? It kind of felt like, I kind of felt like we were at E3. So we have all this fucking shit, we got big plastic Splatoon squids hanging out and...
Yeah, I felt like I was finally on the inside.
Yeah. And, we walked, so we went to this place it's like Warehouse District in Chicago on Fulton, where they have a lot of nice restaurants and other random warehousey stuff. And, we took a cab there. There was like curtains on the windows, so you can't see anything. But you could see that there was like some lights going on. We get dropped off. We have to go like around the corner to the entrance. And as we're walking over there, I hear like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ah. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, oh no, are they having some sort of presentation thing? What's going on? And we get in there and it's just like, there's a big stage area, with a big projector that says like Switch on it. And there's like some different setup scenarios for playing Mario Kart, which was kind of weird.
Those are cool, I thought, though.
Yeah. Well, there's like, here's playing it on a plane. So there's like plane seats and there's like a window that's a TV that shows like did you see that? That like the clouds, it shows that like clouds are passing you to make you feel like you're flying.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah. It had like animated windows, kind of like the Harry Potter stuff, I guess, or what I would imagine it would be like in Universal Studios, which I haven't been there, but I've heard. But yeah, you sit in these seats. We didn't get to do that one, unfortunately, but we did the fake living room battle mode of Mario Kart.
Yeah. Big cushy chairs.
We did the Mario Kart Diner where we play 4-player all on separate Switches. That was kind of cool.
And the guy lied to us and said we could buy milkshakes.
Yeah. He said you could buy milkshakes and I was like, I'll take one. And he's like, oh, well, no, you can't actually have one.
They had a blue shell milkshake that looked really good.
What was it? They had the spiny shell hamburger.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, because I told one guy, I was like, yeah, that's the hamburger that takes a bite out of you. I thought that was funny. But yeah, I was trying to talk to some of the people that were there to see like where they had come from, like if they were traveling with Nintendo or if like, they just did events in Chicago. I guess the guy that we talked to that was by the diner, he said that he just did events, which I figured they got like sort of like production assistant type people who like build the set, take it down, all that. Like, and they probably show them the ropes like on Wednesday, just show them around and be like, hey, this is this, because they seem like somewhat knowledgeable.
Yeah, they really did.
On what was going on, so I'm sure they really filled them in because they want you to know. And it looked like they were having a good time, too. Like, everybody was dancing and all that when we left, so it seemed like a good time. There were a lot of people who were dancing, like when, because we went towards the stage at the very end, like the main host guy, he kept doing like, there were like little competitions, like I saw there was an arms competition, and there was some Mario Kart stuff, which I really wish I could have gotten in that. Even though the demos that they had there did not have Mr. Scooty, which is like my favorite vehicle to use. So I was not as good as I could have been, but I did end up winning the battle. But we took a lot of videos, like all the people there did a lot of videos for us, and we're gonna put that on our YouTube channel on YouTube/Stringmater, so you can see that later. But yeah, what do you want to talk about first? There were like 14 different games that we played, like so. How do you want to cover it? Like, do you want to start off, like, what was your favorite? Like, what was your least favorite? Like, here, let me ask you this. Was there a certain demo that we played that, like, turned you around? Like, we weren't sure about the game, but after you played it, you're like, I'll definitely get this. And that's actually 15 games. I just forgot to put one on the list. I just remembered.
I'm trying to think. Yeah, I was on the fence about Puyo Puyo Tetris, but that game's awesome.
Oh yeah, that game's amazing. Like that was one of the last games that we played, but playing the swap mode where like it'll switch from Puyo Puyo to Tetris back and forth, playing that 2-player was a blast. So I'm like totally in for that game. That game was really fun.
It's super simple. Like, I mean, if you can play both of those games, you can play this one. But yeah, you're getting ready to do, getting ready to get a Tetris and Tetris, and then all of a sudden it switches over to you're doing Puyo Puyo, and you're back to whatever the screen was before it switched over last time.
Yeah. And did you notice that it did in like the corner, it would show you the screen of what you were previously playing?
Yeah.
And it'll like kind of still go, but it won't, like the blocks will still fall, but they'll disappear when they hit the line. Like, cause I was setting something up and I didn't get put in the right place and it was falling down. I thought it was going to like cover one of the holes for Tetris, but it disappears when it hits the line. But it's kind of a way, it's like playing DS, it wants you to look at two screens at the same time.
I will say that was a game that showed that the Switch doesn't need to be 4K. It looked, it's a very simple game, but those really bright, colorful, cartoony graphics were really popping on the screen.
Oh yeah, it looked great. And we didn't even get to see what it looked like on the handheld. It was all just on the TV.
There was a couple of them that they would let us switch it around, and there were a couple that they wouldn't.
Yeah.
And I don't know if because it almost felt like on some of them, it was up to the person if they wanted to let you do that.
Oh, if they wanted to let you take it out or not? Yeah. Because some of them you did, like when we did I'll just say a little bit when we did the Zelda demo, I took the system out and I wanted to play it handheld, and I felt like it looked a little bit sharper on the handheld. Maybe that was just me. Maybe the resolution was better than the TV. I don't know. I thought the TV looked foggy.
It probably looked sharper
compared to the, or maybe it just looks better on 720 because it's not as graphically nice as a more next generation systems. But we'll talk about that. But yeah, I mean, we did so much stuff. It's hard to cover everything. I don't remember exactly. I think the first game we played when we got there was Street Fighter 2.
Oh yeah, Ultra Street Fighter 2.
Which I was already sold on that. I love Street Fighter. I own Street Fighter for pretty much every system that I have that has a Street Fighter game. I have Street Fighter. Like Street Fighter 5 was a game I bought for the PS4 before I had a PS4. I have like Street Fighter 2 for Game Boy Advance. I have it for Super Nintendo. I have it for PlayStation 2. Like I have it for like every, for Wii, for Wii U, for like every system that has Street Fighter. I have Street Fighter on it.
Well, hold on. Maybe a good place to start would be what are our impressions of the actual hardware and how it's all. Because I mean, we all know at this point like how all the different configurations and stuff. But, all right, Trey, I'll ask you, what was your favorite configuration of the hardware?
Oh, of how to play it?
Yeah.
You know what? It's hard to tell. Like, I felt better about the Joy-Cons because the Joy-Cons looked really tiny, when I saw them on like through videos.
Yeah.
And I was kind of afraid of like how well I could actually play it like in my hand as a sideways thing. But I feel better about it. I really wanted to play Street Fighter like that. With the little controller to see if I could pull any moves off. That's what I really wanted to do. But they would not let us do Street Fighter like that.
No, they wouldn't. And I would have loved to try the two-player mode with the two Joy-Cons.
Yeah, right?
Since that's one of the most appealing parts of that game.
Yeah, because then you would just have the 6 buttons that you need, the three punches, the 3 kicks. And there's 8 buttons on the other one. There's, because there's extra L and R. Yeah, I wanted to use the Joy-Cons to see if I could land some dragon uppercuts. Yeah, I wanted to land those dragon uppercuts or those Hadokens. Just try it out. I want to see how that worked. But we did. Yeah, I mean, we got to use it like when we played Sonic Mania. We got to use it like that, so that was cool.
Yeah, I think that was fun.
Yeah, Sonic Mania was another game that kind of turned around on me. Because I've been burned so many times by Sonic that I was kind of like, I don't really care. Yeah, but Sonic Mania, like it's like old. I like how it's like old sprites, but they're HD sprites. It kind of looks like a good Genesis that could play through an HDMI, like an NES Classic, but a Genesis Classic thing, which they have, but they don't output HDMI. They don't look that good.
Right. They are component cables, right?
Yeah. They're just the regular AV cables, I think. But yeah, that was fun. I mean, we got to play 2 levels. We played the Green Zone and we played whatever that movie one was. That one was really cool. And actually, we both made it through, but it was kind of confusing, but I was trying to drill all the people there about like release dates and prices and all that. And I think we only got like snipper clips. They said like $20. I thought it was 15. I thought it was less, but
we did learn that, it's an eShop exclusive because the announcer said, "Hey, we're getting ready to play an eShop game next." Trey and I got excited thinking, whoa, he's going to show us the eShop. Like maybe we're going to get the eShop revealed to us at this event. Yeah. Unfortunately, it was just snipper clips being played on the big screen.
Yeah. I think the way he said it was, I'm going to show you something from the eShop.
Right.
And maybe we thought that he was saying like, let me show you the eShop, I think that's what we were hoping for, which that would have been crazy. I'd be like, what?
Yeah.
But no, I think he worded it where like, let me show you this game from the eShop.
We definitely did not see Karen, unfortunately.
Karen was not there. No, I didn't think she was. But there were a lot of people there that were excited about Nintendo. So that's all the people that were working there, like I said, seemed really excited to be there. The announcer dude was talking about shit. I kind of liked how he let all of us out in the beginning, at the end of it. He's like, hey, you want some free stuff? He threw out a couple stuffed animals. And then he's like, I got a bunch of hats, follow me. And then we all kind of followed him outside of the door. And it's like, oh no, we're outside.
And it's like, all right, we're closed now.
It's like, yeah, it's like, it was like 5 minutes. It was like 9:25. It's like, okay, we're done. Well, he's like 5 minutes. And they're like, all right. But then we, saw some people coming out. But yeah, it had an interesting setup, like everything. They were all like different themed areas. And yeah, well,
big statues.
Yeah, big statues of stuff. And
there's
like swords.
A big Mario hat with the eyeballs on it from Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, we had to kind of crouch to get under that. I mean, what did you think? What's your side on that? Like,
on the hardware?
Yeah, your hardware, the configuration. Like, what was your favorite way to play it?
Man, I love the dog bone controller.
Yeah,
I thought it was great. The Pro controller, don't get me wrong, the Pro controller is how I want to play Zelda.
Oh yeah,
I almost want to buy a Pro controller exclusively for that game.
You don't think you can do the dog bone controller or the dog face controller?
I probably could do the dog face.
Yeah,
but Zelda's something I'm going to want to play on the big screen for sure. That doesn't mean I'm not going to take it with me once I get more into it and I'm just trying to like complete tasks.
Sure.
But as far as the one player mode and the adventure and everything, I want that on the big screen because it looked fantastic. But yeah, as far as the hardware configuration goes, I was impressed by all the different ways it's used in the different games. Like you have to hold those things completely differently depending on what game you're playing.
You do. And I hope that's not too confusing to the people. Because, like, the Wiimote was kind of like you either point at the screen or you hold it sideways.
Yeah.
But this kind of seems a little bit more complicated.
Right,
there's
like you might even hold it at a different angle than you normally would.
Yeah, actually, I was pretty confused by all the different ways. Like, when we got to, like, 1-2 switch, it's like, okay, you gotta hold it like this. And then we get to arms and I'm holding it one way. And they're like, oh no, you gotta hold it this other way. So there's, like, all different ways to hold the Joy-Cons for the motion stuff. And we didn't even try Just Dance just because I don't really care. But that could have been a whole different way of holding it also,
Sad to say that's the only game we didn't try. And we just realized it before we started recording.
But, yeah, we didn't really try it though.
Yeah, there were many times where there wasn't even a line at that booth.
Yeah, but people were always there was somebody over there. I think the only one I saw empty for most of the time was Skylander Imaginators.
Yeah.
Which we played for a minute and I was like, I don't know what I'm doing here.
It just felt like a beat 'em up. Like a straightforward beat 'em up game.
Yeah. I mean, at least you don't need to buy a separate scanner for it now. I mean, that's cool. Yeah. You can actually scan them like regular Amiibo, and that's a good thing. So, I give it my stamp of approval in that way. Let me say one thing before I forget. When we were playing Mario Kart with like it as the handheld unit, were you like, I was getting like, my hands were feeling weird. Like playing it like that, I kind of got a little crampy. My hands got a little crampy trying to play it like that. I felt
like it wasn't controlling as well as it does when I play it on the Wii U.
Oh, like it wasn't responsive?
I was having a harder time power sliding. But it might be like you're saying, it might have been because my hands weren't as comfortable as they are with a controller.
Oh, could be. And they're also like not all depending on what vehicle you use normally, they didn't have all the vehicles available.
Right. And I didn't customize it.
Yeah.
Very much. I just kind of flew through it, selecting everything.
Because I used the F-Zero car with small wheels, which is kind of like the Mr. Scooty setup that I normally do. But I was feeling, it was like sitting, I don't know, maybe it was that game in particular, and a lot of them were harder because it had or heavier because it had that big metal thing attached to the back of it.
Right.
That like had, so you can't take it, because it's attached to the table.
Which made it hard to determine, like, how much does the Switch weigh.
Yeah. I figured it wasn't that, because it felt really heavy, but I think it's because that big metal plate that was on the back of it.
There was a big metal thing bolting it down to the table, essentially. I mean, you had a cable that you were free to pull it away, but...
Yeah.
Sure. At no point did we have the untethered Switch in our hands. We had untethered Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say what...
Yeah, we totally did have untethered Joy-Cons and untethered Pro Controllers.
Yep.
Like, I thought about that a couple times. Like, one time we were playing a game, and I, like, stood up with the Pro Controller, and I, like, put it down. I'm like, oh, I forgot I put it down. But I'm like, I wonder if I just, like, walked with it if they would have seen it. Because, like, nobody was watching me at all. Not that I would have done that.
There are so many, like, cameras going on there. Someone would have captured you on video.
Oh, sure. I'm sure they were shooting all of it. But it was just, nobody was looking. Like, I set it down, and then I walked away, and then I saw somebody look. But I was like, I probably could have walked for a minute with it. I mean, obviously somebody would have been like, hey, that guy's a pro controller.
I will say what I've heard a lot of other people say, so it's like a broken record, but yes, the Joy-Cons are really small. I would liken them to the size of that freaking first iPod Shuffle, or maybe a Pez dispenser, as Trey kind of eloquently put it. It's probably about the size of a Pez dispenser. Maybe a little smaller if you took the head off of it. But those things melt into your hand, and they fit really well. And
yeah, they're better with the top. You have the thing that slides on there.
Yeah, because those are no buttons.
Yeah, and they were so adamant. I know they were like this before for the Wii, but they're so adamant about those wrist straps.
Well, they especially needed to be at this event because they didn't need any broken TVs or hardware.
Yeah, but did you ever throw a Wiimote at a TV? Did you ever do that?
No, but I have thrown a Wiimote.
Oh, yeah. But intentionally, right? Or not intentionally?
Yeah, intentionally.
I mean, I actually hit the...
Skyward Sword.
Oh, yeah. Because we don't have to talk about that game. There was one time where I had my couch rearranged to where I was bowling behind the couch, and I accidentally hit the back of the controller into the back of the couch and broke the front of it. So I did do that. I did break a controller bowling at my old four apartments ago apartment. So I did do that where I slammed my head and my hand into the couch and broke the front of the controller. But other than that, I never threw a controller at the TV.
But the way these things are held, the wrist strap, yeah, it's good, but you're not holding it like a stick.
Yeah.
Like a magic wand or whatever you want to call it, the way you were holding it.
And you're not really throwing, even arms, I didn't feel like we were really hitting really hard for that.
You'd want to when you got a little more involved in the game, but I don't think it changed anything.
Well, only when you do your super move, then you pump your fists, and pumping your fists get you more hits, So that's totally worth it. But yeah, as a presentation, I was impressed. As a total presentation.
I was too.
I was impressed by it.
It was very professional. It was really well set up in there, and I would have liked some cooler swag, but can't complain about everything. It was a free event.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I mean, I was impressed. I mean, we got to go for free. We got to try out some stuff. It was actually a lot more organized than I guess I thought it would be. As far as the Zelda thing went, right when we got there, they're we're handing out tickets right now for a certain time, and they handed out a certain amount of tickets for Zelda for each whatever time. We got 7:05, got to play for 20 minutes. Everybody had their own screen, so that's, they kind of very much did that. So to make sure that everybody could play that game, because that's obviously going to be their biggest seller out of this.
Oh yeah, and it alleviates the stress that you get from waiting in line for that sort of thing.
Yeah, so then there wasn't a line for Zelda. I mean, there was, but it's not one. Once it goes, everybody gets led to their TV, and they start your timer when you get there and when you start it, so.
And I think, there was enough stuff going on there that we never stood in line for more than 5 minutes for anything. I bet we didn't even hit 5 minutes on anything.
Yeah, we stood in line for ARMS, but I didn't feel like it was very long.
No. And
we were in line for. But there were 6 different stations for that, maybe 8?
Yeah.
No, maybe 6, because there were 4 around the corners and then there were 2 in the middle, so I think there were 6 different stations for ARMS. What about 1-2 Switch? That was one of those things that I thought maybe this would turn me around on that. And you know what? I still have no interest in that game.
I really don't think it was great. I think as a package, if it's made in such a way where you're playing several different mini games with different people, and it's aggregating the scores together for winning, treats them like mini games, then I think it could be a great party game. But as far as I can't see myself playing the milking game over and over again, trying to get the high score or anything like that. That HD Rumble was impressed. I was impressed by the HD Rumble.
Yeah, the ball game really did.
And that was
really
the only
show off
game.
The Rumble, the good HD Rumble.
That was the only HD Rumble out of anything we played, I think.
Was 1-2 Switch, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think HD Rumble's in ARMS to a bit, but you don't really notice it more than just, you don't notice that it's different, But
yeah, the mini game where you had to count how many balls were inside of, yeah, that was trippy. I don't know how they do that.
It was cool.
There were some balls rolling around and bouncing inside the
Switch.
It
was cool. And there was a moment where you could move the controller around, and there's on the TV it shows where the balls are going, and you can kind of feel, and we both got that right. We both guessed 3 for that.
Yep.
But that whole 1-2 Switch thing was kind of funny. I mean, you'll see it. We recorded a couple videos of us milking and doing the, it wasn't the gunshot one. What was the other one we recorded? It was the milk one and maybe it was the ball one. I don't know. It was one.
I think it was the ball and the milk. And then we didn't, I don't think we recorded the samurai or the shooting one.
Yeah, we didn't. By that time I was kind of eh. So I'm still kind of on 1-2 Switch. I was hoping that maybe this event would turn me around on it, but I'm still not. I still don't really see myself playing it. You know.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to be more of a social game. So if I were to decide I wanted to have a Switch party at my house or something, maybe I would want to grab that game.
Yeah.
Especially since I think everyone's going to get a huge kick out of milking the cow and all the other stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, it really is, cover your ears, children. It's like jerking someone off.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Feels like.
I was trying to make a joke about the soda can game from Mario Party. Remember the soda can game? The soda can game where you do this. I was going to say something like, "Oh, this is the most fun I've had since that soda can game from Mario Party," but I didn't think anybody would know what it was. You know, the first time you got to do a game that was like jerking off and on the Wii. Yeah, it kind of reminded me of that. And it's weird because you're supposed to look at each other and do this stroking motion, and it's like, oh, this is a new awkward way of play video games with your friends.
You feel the HD rumble in that too, but it's
you do. And I couldn't figure out how to do it. I thought it was like 1 to 2. I thought it was L to R, but it's L and then R at the same time. So I think you beat me on all of them pretty much.
Well, it's L, then L and R at the same time, and then just R.
Oh, is it?
So it's like you're rolling your fingers across.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't get it. I didn't get it at all then. The whole thing.
You're supposed to envision like the liquid moving in front of your fingers as you go.
Because I think you beat me on all of them, right? Like we tied on balls. We got the same on that, but I know you beat me on the milker, and I think you. Oh
yeah, I kicked your ass in 1-2 Switch. Maybe I should get that game because the game I'm actually good at that I can win at.
Yeah, yeah, right. Hey, you beat me. You toasted me with Blanca a few times. I know about your. I forgot about your style on Blanca.
Yeah, Blanca's my cheap character.
Corner shock. Your corner shock moves. Yeah. Corner shock, low high kick, low. You used to do that too, where you do like the back kick and the high.
Well, if I could use my fierce moves, I would have been doing a lot more heavy punches.
That was the thing. Like I wished there really wasn't the option to switch your controls around to the way that you're comfortable with them. You know, like we played Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2 feels a lot like Splatoon 1, except there's like newer weapons. We dominated the first time. Our team dominated and we won. That was one we recorded, so that's cool. And I played with the Splat Dually, and I probably killed like 10 guys like in that. But I covered a lot of ground too. Like I felt like I did really good on that first time.
I think that I want to play Splatoon.
Splatoon.
So yeah, I did. I guess I should have brought that up. I think that's the game that turned me around on something because I was having a lot of fun with that, and I learned something. If you got the roller, you become a target.
Well, the roller was kind of like the overpowered weapon.
Yeah. Like
when it first, on the original game. And I like the roller. I think
if you have the roller, you've got like 2 people after you at all times. It felt like.
Yeah. Cause that's what happened when I played as the roller too. I was just getting capped. Cause like in the original one, I kind of felt like I could just roll over people with the roller. And I did a lot of times. And if I was playing the regular game like that one, like the Turf Wars where you just cover it with paint, I would use the roller. But if it was for one of the other more complicated games, and there are other ones in the original one, I would use maybe like a more repeating gun, like more of a machine gun type thing, or like dual, whatever. Or even they added the paint bucket later, which was kind of cool. And there's like the minigun that were added.
So yeah, that was definitely the one that turned me around. I think I want to get a hold of that game when it comes out and start to try to get a little better. I know I could buy the first one and practice, but it's so close at this point.
Well, they couldn't give us a date for that. What did they say? They said spring. Did they say spring or summer for Splatoon? I feel like it was summer.
I thought it was a spring. Maybe not.
Yeah, one of them was summer. I don't know. I was trying to get dates out of people. Like I really wanted to know because I think maybe Mario Kart was spring and Splatoon is summer. But I was really.
That would make sense, really. Yeah. If they've got that big release in the spring, they'd want to save their multiplayer game for the summer.
Sure. And I was also thinking, like, how many of these games do you think are games that you can already play on your Wii U right now to some capacity? Because we played, like, Fast Racing Neo, or Fast Racing Remix, RMX.
Yeah, which was, I thought, kind of a forgettable game. I mean, I could see the strategy of it being fun, because it's kind of got that, but a little bit like Ikaruga, because you have to dynamically change the color of your racer as you're going through different colored parts of the track. That's cool, because, like, you can boost and stuff, jump further. Yeah, I think the idea of the game was this, just this indie developer that understand like the
demand that there is for a new F-Zero game. And they're like, well, let's make a game that's like F-Zero, but not call it F-Zero. Maybe we can get people to buy it.
Even the person describing it to us today said it's like F-Zero and Mario Kart had a baby together.
Yeah, I don't know about the Mario Kart stuff.
Yeah, I didn't.
Because there's no weapons or anything.
No, maybe the boost, but there was a boost in F-Zero.
Yeah, they all had boosts. But yeah, I don't know. Like that's why I got it, because yeah, I've been aching for a new F-Zero game. And this game was kind of like, here, yeah, we're basically going to give you F-Zero, and people will buy it because they're thirsting for F-Zero. You know, that's the idea of it. And I guess the newer one, the RMX one, has like the announcer who was in the other F-Zero games, like they have the voice doing that. But it feels like, for me, it feels more like a Wipeout game than an F-Zero game. If you played any of the Wipeout games for PlayStation, it kind of feels more like that. I don't know. It's okay. Like, I enjoyed playing it on the Wii U, and I had a fun time playing it at the event. But after I played it, I was like, man, I can just go home and play it now on my Wii U,
right.
You know? And same thing with Splatoon. I was having a fun time with Splatoon. It's like, man, this makes me want to go home and play Splatoon.
But it didn't really seem that different. I mean, it's probably new arenas and stuff and all that, but the gameplay seems the same. But I really did. I mean, what were we playing that? We were playing with the Pro Controller, right?
Yeah, we played Splatoon with the Pro Controller. And it was set up to use the motion aim, which I'm not really into. I normally aim with the stick.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
I know a lot of people. Well, it was like you turn left and right with the stick, but you move up and down by moving the controller like this.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that. I was just playing.
So that kind of threw me off guard. And I was like, can I switch that? And they're like, oh, no, you can't for the demo, but you'll be able to do it later.
I feel like I did a lot more damage with the splat dualies than the
yeah, me too.
Than the roller, though.
Well, the splat dualies are like the new weapon, so I think they wanted to push that. And you can do different things with the roller now. Now you can jump and swipe vertically. Yeah. With the paint and swipe it at the guys. So that's cool. But yeah, Splatoon 2, that one was really fun. Sonic Mania.
Sonic Mania was
Puyo Tetris, all those games are fun. Snipper Clips was alright. I mean, I figured
I thought Snipper Clips was great.
Yeah, no, it's fun. I just wanted to play it longer. You know, I don't feel like it really got to the point where it'd be like really, really fun, you know.
It's gonna be cheap.
Yeah, no, that's a game that I'll probably get for sure because it'll be fun to play.
Did she say $10?
Stuff. She said 20. I thought it was 20. Cheaper than that though. I thought it was going to be 15. So we'll see. I mean, she's probably right. But how did you feel about ARMS? Like, what was
ARMS is something that I'm going to have to practice. I think that's a game that you need to learn. It's a learning curve. It's not as intuitive as a lot of the other games were. And a lot of the reason the other games were intuitive is because they were games we've played before in some fashion.
Oh, sure.
Or sequels to games we've played before.
Yeah.
But that one in particular, the controls kind of messed with my head a little bit. And you have to hold the Joy-Cons in a kind of weird way that you don't hold them for any other game. You hold them like with the sticks facing, kind of like the sticks facing inward. Yeah. And the R and L buttons are at the top, and you're using your thumbs to hit them.
Yeah. It works though.
It works. It's just a little strange, but it does work. It works fine.
Yeah.
I can see getting into that game. I would just have to play the shit out of it. I don't know if there's a single player mode.
I was going to ask you, what do you think is the possibility of ARMS having online? I mean, I think it should have online.
It should, yeah.
If it had a good online mode, I think I would totally play it. But I want to try it. I want to try it without motion control because I know you can play it with a regular Pro Controller or whatever controller. I want to try that because it might be a little more precise. You might be able to get better at it like that. I don't know. And there's nothing wrong with it seemed to work fine for the most part, even though sometimes when I was trying to move forward, I would actually accidentally punch. I noticed that while I was trying to play it because you tilt them forward to move and you tilt them back to move back and you go like left and right. And I don't think I blocked at all until that second time we played. But yeah, it's okay. You know, I mean, I need to play with it a little bit longer, I guess, but
the heavy use of motion controls was definitely what was throwing me off.
Yeah.
Because they weren't intuitive.
I mean, do you think you would like it better if you had the option of not playing with that motion control?
I would try both.
Yeah, because it could be a little bit more strategic, I guess. Because if they had some levels where you could like hide around pillars and stuff like that, that would be cool. Because then it would make a reason for like the curve punch. You know, I guess it's supposed to catch them like while you're dodging, but
yeah, because you can kind of control it's like a model airplane or something. Once you launch it, you can control where it goes.
Yeah, because you can you can tilt it later and then it'll curve. Which I couldn't really get those to hit. Like I would try to do the curved ones, but I feel like the curved ones I threw would always miss you. But yeah, we got to play a lot of 2-player games, so that's cool, you know?
Definitely seems to be a focus of the Switch.
Yeah.
being the first Nintendo console in a long ass time that comes with 2 controllers.
Yeah, that's a huge thing. I mean, well, since the Famicom, that was the only one that came with 2 controllers, Even though I know you could buy certain Super Nintendo ones that came with 2.
As well, yeah.
But that was late. That was like pack-ins later. But yeah, it's crazy that there's 2 controllers right out of the gate. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I wish that a lot of those games that we were playing were released for, on launch day.
Yeah.
Like if Puyo Tetris went on launch day, I'd be like, fuck yeah, I'd totally get that. Sonic Mania, get that,
I'd say Has Been Heroes seems like it could have been a lot of fun, but it was a little too complicated to wrap my brain around at the time.
Yeah, it was
especially with all the other games flashing around me that I wanted to try. It was one of the first ones. It was I think it was the second one I tried.
Yeah, same with Disgaea. Disgaea 5 was there.
Oh yeah, Disgaea, I forgot about that.
But those games are very much sit down, get your mind into it, slow paced strategy stuff. So that's really hard to I don't know, I feel like it's hard to get the essence of it, through a 5-minute demo or whatever.
Well, especially when you have the person there, which, at no point did the people working in the booths annoy me, but it still kind of added an extra element of pressure when they're like, oh, and then you need to do this. No, do it like this. No, do it like this. For some reason I couldn't wrap my head around how Half-Brain Heroes or what Has Been Heroes
I like Half-Brain Heroes.
Right. When she first was showing me how to play it, it made sense and I was doing it and I played through the first little bit of it and it was great. And then as soon as she walked away and I was on my own, I couldn't remember how to do some of the things.
Yeah. I felt like it was very much, I felt the pressure because she's like, hit this, now push this. And I'm like, I'm not understanding how to play this game. You're just telling me to push buttons.
There is a lady when I was playing
this
Splatoon that was doing that with the paint roller. She's like, you got to do this to jump up and throw the paint, and I couldn't do it.
She was talking to me, and I was just kind of I was like, I know, I played this game a lot for the Wii U. It's fine. I know what's going on. The only thing I was confused about, because in the Wii U game, there's a map on the touchscreen, and you can touch any of your players on the touchscreen, and you'll transport to where they're at to try to help them out. And that works differently on this version, of course, because there's not 2 screens. So now you hit the X button to pull up a map showing where your characters are, and you push a direction on the control pad to go to whichever teammate that you want to go to. So I had a hard time doing that. But what's weird is the original Splatoon, X was jump. So that kind of threw me off. It's in the original Splatoon, X was how you jumped, when you turn into a squid and you would jump in and out of the ink. So that's what I tried to do, and that map kept coming up, and I'm like, no, wait, fuck, where's the jump? So that kind of threw me off also. But I mean, yeah, a couple times with it, you'll totally figure it out, And I was both times, I was the guy that painted the base. I wanted to be to the camera because we were filming. I wanted to be first tip on Splatoon, paint your base right off the bat. Paint your base.
That's all I really.
Everybody forgets to paint your base. Paint your base right at the beginning.
I only capped a couple of people the whole time I was playing. Mostly, I was just trying to go over the other team's paint.
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to. I wasn't trying to tell you that you didn't know how to do it or something. I just wasn't sure if you knew how to play Splatoon or not. Right. I didn't see you play it. I was just I would just remember you got to paint the floor more than kill people.
Yeah.
But we did good that first round, but the second round we got toasted. But maybe it was different guys or.
And those split dualies.
And we didn't have the split dualies either.
Because like I said, once I started playing that second round with the roller, I was just, there's dudes after me the whole time.
Sure. But yeah, this guy is something that I'd like to sit down with and play. I'm sure it'd be cool. We kind of sat down and just waited for other stuff while we were playing it. I don't know. Mario Kart's Mario Kart. I enjoyed the battle mode, I guess, battle mode was to a fun point.
I wish
there was more than bombs.
Right, I was a little thrown off by that. Why was it just bombs? And you would collect multiple bombs, so if you keep running into the
it was
question mark
bombs.
Blocks, then it stacks, and you can have up to 9 or something.
Yeah. But I won that one.
As
awesome.
People were being eliminated, the item blocks turned into double item blocks.
Oh, yeah.
That.
Oh, sure. Yeah. So then you got 2 bombs instead of 1. But yeah, I really hope there's a battle mode version that has regular items in it. Has red shells and green shells and the stuff that you normally have in the game. Cause if you remember in the GameCube version of, Mario Kart on Double Dash, there was a specific battle mode called Bomb Battle. And you would carry this big stack of bombs. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
and you would carry like this leading tower of bombs or whatever, and you would use them to, and it was very much like that, except you'd have like the big tower of them. But then there were other versions that were set up, so maybe that was just that particular mode. I don't know. It's a demo. Hopefully there's some other stuff on there.
Yeah, I found it was really hard to actually hit anyone with the bomb. You
Yeah.
just had to hope they were around it when it exploded.
Yeah. And they also gave us little steering wheels to control that with. The little motion steering wheels, which because thankfully you could still control it with the stick. So I just held it like down in my lap and didn't move it at all and just controlled it with the stick because I don't like using the motion control steering wheel thing at all.
It didn't work too badly. I thought it was pretty precise for what it was.
Yeah, I'm sure it worked fine.
It's a lot smaller than the Wii wheel.
Yeah, it's just not my cup of tea for that. Well, yeah, it has to be because the Joy-Cons are like so much smaller than the Wiimote.
Yeah, but you could put it into a same size shell with just a smaller hole for the controller.
Sure. Yeah, you could if you want to make it bigger. Which maybe they'll make a different version of it by then.
But I don't even know if that's necessary because, like you, I don't really see myself using that method. I mean, it's fun for what it is. It's a novelty, but if I'm really going to get serious about some Mario Kart, I just want to play it with the classic controls.
Oh yeah, especially if you're going to get in there and try to like unlock everything and all that. And I don't know if I'm going to buy it again because like I played Mario Kart 8 like so much that a battle mode, maybe even on online battle mode, I'm not going to be coming to it for $60. I might get it later when it's dropped.
Same here, man.
I'm not paying $60
I'll
for
be
it.
waiting on that game.
Yeah, so that'll be one that I'm waiting until it drops for sure. But yeah, I mean, we talked about Skylanders for a second. Let me tell you, Bomberman R. That was I could never really get into Bomberman, but I thought that game was like really slow and boring.
I thought
what we played of it.
I thought for it being a showcase title at the Switch event, yeah, I thought it played kind of slow and really just didn't look as good as I was thinking. Because in all the descriptions for it, they're like, ultra realistic graphics or photorealistic graphics, or it says something like that when it
really?
describes it. Yeah, photoreal.
Wow.
It says photoreal graphics.
Yeah, those bricks when they exploded, they look so real.
Yeah, man, there are pieces of clay flying into your eye and everything.
Yeah,
but it was a very slow paced game, and I didn't really know what the hell was happening. When you get eliminated, you go to the outside and you shoot blocks to try to like speed along.
Yeah, I understand that. Well, it's like the old Mario Karts where you turn into the bomb car,
right? So it makes sense that you're kind of like, it's everyone against everyone at all points. So even once you lose, I guess you could be on someone's side and only go after a different character. But
sure.
Needless to say, yeah, I don't think that I'll be getting that game unless
I mean, maybe
it comes out and there's different modes in it besides what we played that are more fun.
Yeah, we just played the straight up battle. Like there's a story mode that we could have done, I guess, like a 2-player story mode. So maybe that's better. Like I remember the GameCube. Do you remember the GameCube Bomberman? Like a lot of people like that one because it had a decent story mode.
The last one I really played was on 64.
Oh, okay. And I bought the GameCube one, but I ended up trading it in because I don't know. I never could really get into Bomberman. Like even the 64 one, like my friends in high school loved it, but I don't know. It just was it never clicked with me. I don't know. Could never do the Bombermans or the Bombermen.
The Bombermans.
However you want to say it, So that one didn't work for me, but I didn't expect it to, but I thought I'd give it a try. I mean, you never know. But yeah, there's just so much, there's so much to play, but now that we're like talking about it, I feel like it's like, oh man, yeah, the Switch is old hat. We already played it, remember?
Right. Well, some of those games were not for our demographic. For instance, Skylanders Imaginators. I mean, that's a game for kids.
Yeah.
I don't see that being something that I would ever be interested in playing. Maybe if I had kids of my own and I wanted to play video games with them.
My sister likes Skylanders a lot.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So maybe it is something that.
But I mean, her son likes it too. But yeah, she said she really liked it. Like they would collect the toys together and she played it and all that. So, so I guess, yeah, they were both collecting it like her and her son were. So I don't know. I guess you can like it, but I just didn't, Disney Infinity was about as close as I got to Skylanders, which it was fun for what it was, but I did think it was cool that you could scan them on your controller now instead of the fucking, that really helps, like, so you don't have to buy, because I have like a scanner for Infinity that's just like sitting in my room not doing anything. I wish I could have just scanned them on the fucking controller.
Which I did try to, I did scan one, I switched to characters one time.
Sure.
Because they had the amiibos sitting there.
Yeah, I scanned one too. I scanned the, some sort of Egyptian goddess lady. I was her for a minute.
I was Donkey Kong.
Yeah, you were Donkey Kong. I saw Donkey Kong there and I thought about it for a second, but I thought the Egyptian goddess lady looked better.
Yeah.
So I thought she looked cooler. So, but I couldn't really figure out what was going on, and I didn't really have the patience to figure out what was going on. I was just kind of like, oh, look, Sonic Mania is open. Let's go over there. And Sonic Mania was fun. I mean, it has potential. It seems like it might be a fun Sonic game. I'm good to give it another try.
Yeah, if the price is right, I'm all over Sonic.
If that was a $20 game, I'd totally get it. 60, maybe I'd have to think about it. I mean, 60, I don't know.
It better be jam full of content.
Yeah, but it was really cool. Like I really like the HD 16-bit graphic thing that they have going on. I'm totally down with that. I wish they made more games like that. Totally into it. I wanted to play Street Fighter in the original mode, but they kept playing it in the HD mode, which looks cool. You know, I like Street Fighter 2. If there's like a cool online mode to it, that'd be nice. You know, like some sort of competent online mode would be really cool. But I guess we'll have to see. We'll have to see what comes with that. Street Fighter 2 really should be a launch title. I don't know why it isn't. But a lot of those games should be launch titles. I mean, Disgaea 5, that's one I'll have to wait on. Has Been Heroes, maybe, if I had some time to wrap my head around it. But do you wanna jump into Zelda then? While we were playing Puyo Tetris, and you know how it would like we were talking before about like how you had to switch. You know, you would, yeah. Do you think they came up? Well, it's coming out on other systems actually, so that's not a Switch thing. But like it would, you know, you'd play one for a certain amount of time, and then it would count down like 5 seconds, and then you go to the next game. I turned to you while we were playing, and I was like, man, they should make like a bigger version of this that goes to like Pokemon Puzzle League, and it goes to like Dr. Mario, and there'd be like 4 or 5 different games that would go to another
Puzzle Fighter.
Yeah, it'd be great. That'd be cool if they did that.
Pipe Dreams.
Wetris.
Hatris.
Wetris and Tetrasphere. I used to play the crap out of Tetrasphere on 64. I wish I had that game still. Well, I didn't. I rented it, but I had a lot of fun with it.
Oreo's Woods.
Yeah, Yoshi's Cookie. So, do you want to talk about the elephant in the room? Of course, we got to talk about the big bad Zelda,
which occupied, I'd say, a third of the show floor to a fourth to a third of the show floor.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was one of the bigger exhibitions. Like basically, the way it was set up, you know, there was Splatoon on one side of the door. There was the Splatoon area. Then there was the Zelda area, took up pretty much the whole side there, and then you had the Mario Kart stuff in the stage. And then you got some area for Mario Odyssey, just to play the trailer all the time, and you can take pictures under the hat. And then ARMS. And 1-2 switch by the door.
Yeah, the 1-2 switch
and then, like, everything else
was like a booth.
Yeah, 1-2 switch, you went into a thing. And I think that's because they wanted to explain it to you better. Because it was so loud, they were playing music all the time. And I had a hard time hearing stuff also for some of them.
Yeah. I think it was also to reinforce the idea that it's a game for 2 people to just hang out and play together.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, when we were playing Sonic Mania, I actually asked the guy, because some of them would be like, hey, tell me what you liked about the game. You know, they'd like sort of kind of ask you about that, but they didn't seem to care that much. But this guy was like, tell me what you thought about Sonic Mania. And I'm like, I think it looks cool. And I'm like, what can you tell me about it? Like, can you give me the premise of Sonic? And he's like, well, listen, he like sits down like next to me and he starts talking to me about a bunch of stuff, but I could not hear him that well because the music was so loud.
Oh man, he was giving you Sonic's origin story and you didn't hear it.
Yeah, because he's like, now wait, hold on, man. Now, let me tell you, he's like, now Miles Tails, he's like the main character of the game. That's what he was telling me. And he's like, and you do these crazy combos and he can like fly up with his tail and all this stuff. And yeah, he's like, all this stuff that you didn't know you could do. I'm like, okay, cool. Crazy. All right. But he like sat down and
I am interested if you're going to play as Tails at any point, or maybe
he said that Tails is a part of it. It's also that joke that I was saying earlier about the DLC for Zelda. That was one of the jokes. Was it part of the DLC? It's adding and Knuckles to the name.
Oh right.
So it's Zelda and Knuckles Breath of the Wild. So you can play as Knuckles now.
Zelda Breath of the Wild and Knuckles.
Yeah, that was one of the extras. But yeah, let's talk about Zelda.
Fucking Zelda.
Yeah, we get to play Zelda for 20 minutes. Man, I feel like I barely did anything in the game, unfortunately.
No, but after seeing so many gameplay videos of people playing, it made it seem more complicated than it actually is. Like,
yeah,
it's a pretty intuitive game, I think.
Yeah, let me ask you this. Did you find it really weird that Y is as the sword now? I found that hard to get used to because I'm so used to hitting B to smack stuff.
And then like I think X is the jump button, which is really weird that there's jump.
Yeah, no, X is the jump button. You're right. Yeah, X is the jump button, and you can also use it to climb. Use X to like climb on a wall, and B is like your stamina bar to like run faster, which is normally A, and A is to like pick stuff up, I guess. But man, like the whole thing of using Y to move your sword was really annoying to me.
Yeah.
That would caught me off guard because I always want to go to B. I always want to hit B.
Did you get a sword? I never got a sword.
I did get a sword, but I threw it at the old man when I was waiting for him to show me where the fucking temple was. Did you see that?
A stick? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Because the lady next to me was cracking up because I kept trying to throw a sword at him. Because I was like, move. I was like, move, old man. I don't got that much time left. I gotta go. Give me the sail, you know?
Right. That's what I was like. That's elder abuse, Trey.
Yeah. So I took my sword. I found a sword because I had like a sword shield combo, but I chucked my sword at the old man. So it disappeared. I didn't get it back. So I switched back to my axe. But I saw that I switched. But I saw that you started a fire pretty soon.
I said that's the first thing I was going to do, right? I mean, we've got that on the podcast earlier. That's the first fucking thing I did. I grabbed the torch and I went over to the fire and set it on fire, and then I just started dragging it on the ground through the grass. And the lady was like, careful, you're taking damage. I'm like, hold on, I gotta see if this tree will burn. And I went over to a tree. I couldn't set the tree on fire, but I burnt like a huge path of vegetation on the way over there.
Oh, I had an axe. I should have tried to cut some trees down. It's like, you get there and you're like a deer in headlights, and you're like, I don't remember what I wanted to do with this game, but hey, look, I'm running around and doing stuff. Well, and I also
felt a bizarre desire to like play well because I was being watched.
Oh yeah.
It's like, I don't want to look like a Zelda idiot.
Yeah, I was trying to see as much.
I'm like smart.
I was trying to see as much as I could, but I kind of wish I wouldn't have followed the way the game is supposed to go, because that's kind of what I did. I'm like, it's like go here, so I went over there, and it's like go here, and I went over there. I should have just like ran around and explored, and just tried to like just fight guys and set shit on fire and stuff like that. Like try to see what I could find aside from where it wants you to go.
Yeah.
Gone off the path.
But I had fun fighting the bad guys. All my weapons broke, and it was really funny because you hit the button to draw your sword, and he'll just reach his hand back and kind of get a confused look on his face.
Oh, if you don't have a weapon?
Yeah. And so I was fighting a couple of bokoblins. There's two of them, and I beat one of them. They were archers, and like my club broke on the second one before I finished him off. So I walked up to him, and I was like trying to hit him with my fist, and the lady's like, "Oh, no fists," and I'm like, "Oop, see ya." I just like ran off, and she started laughing. And that's when I like ran.
Oh, you can't hit him with your fist? You can't fisticuff with the.
There's no melee.
Oh man, yeah.
Well, I mean, there is melee.
Yeah, with weapons.
There's no fist melee.
Let me ask you this: did Link not totally crack you up when he ran? Like he was like totally flailing, like his arms.
I didn't.
Did you notice that? I thought it was hilarious. Like you hit the thing, and he's like.
He didn't have a big old butt. So I didn't notice anything about that. Like,
I thought his running was pretty funny to me. But I just have to mention before I forget, I died 2 times in the demo, so that was pretty hilarious on my part.
I was close.
Because there's a part like you get to this, spoilers, whatever. It's in like a few seconds. You'll find it in the game. Like the first thing you go to like some sort of tower thing, and you get on it. And then it like skyrockets all the way up to the top of the sky. Turns into this huge tower. It grows out of the ground. It grows out of the ground. And I basically walked off the edge of it like it was still on the ground, and I just like fell all the way down and just died right there. And I'm like, oh shit. And I almost did it again. And I was like climbing down the tower, and I'm like, I see this takes up most of the demo. I understand why you put this here. That's what I said to the lady. I see you put this here because it takes like 10 minutes to get down.
She's
like, oh no, you can like fall. Yeah, and I actually started skipping through the beginning stuff so I could get a little head start, which you could have. If you push some buttons, there'd be a thing that said plus skip. Mm-hmm. So you can skip through that beginning part. But yeah, I got the Sheikah Slate. I was hoping to get, we didn't really get any like magic powers or anything like that. I got to talk to the old man. But I kind of wish I didn't,
Every time I talked to the old man, I said the negative thing. Yeah. He'd be like, do you think you could help me out? And I was like, no. Or I'd just say ... right? When that was an option.
Yeah. Well, the one where he was like, did you recognize that voice that you heard? I was like, no. And he's like, oh, well, that's a shame.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's fun. I noticed that there was some mid-mapping in it, which I haven't seen since Skies of Arcadia on GameCube.
Which I didn't notice.
Mid-mapping is like where there's like about halfway, there's like a halfway line through the screen that you see, and the textures change as it passes through that middle part of the screen. So it's a little bit blurry before that, and then it becomes more defined as it goes past this line.
So like,
but you'll see
it's only processing the stuff that's close to you.
Yeah, but you'll see a line right through the middle of the screen if you're looking like at the ground, and it'll be you can see it changing. Like you'll see a hard line on the TV, which I thought was weird. Like I haven't seen that in a while.
I didn't notice that.
That was kind of something that I saw in like, even like old, like Mystical Ninja 64 did that, but that's an older game. But yeah, and I thought it looked better on the handheld than the TV. Maybe the TV was too bright or something, but I thought it looked kind of foggy.
See, I tried it on the handheld, and I mean, as I said before, I'd love to play it on the go if, let's say there's some objective where you have to collect 60 something or whatever, and I'm just trying to collect all 60 of those items. That's the kind of thing that'll take it on the go and just try to knock it out.
Well, then you can just play it.
Right.
Then you can just play it while you're watching TV or something.
Right.
If it's like a completely brainless activity. Yeah, I understand what you mean.
But I want to be real immersed in that. I mean, I want to be sitting 5 inches away from my 40-inch television while I play it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. But I mean, imagine this. Like, say you take like the whole day to play Zelda. You're playing in your living room, and then you go to bed, and then you take it with you, and you play it a little bit in bed too before you go to bed. I mean, that's what I used to do, what I would do with the Wii U. Or even before the Wii U, I would play like the Game Boy Advance version of it, or I'd play like a game that was like that game, like in bed, before I go to bed, just to kind of like, like a nightcap, I guess.
It is kind of like a nightcap.
Yeah, you come in there and you still get to keep playing it.
I played my Wii U in bed for the first couple of months I had it, and the novelty wore off for me.
Oh yeah.
Essentially because if I lay in bed and should do anything, I just fall asleep. I can't like be recreational in bed for the most part. I just get sleepy when I'm in bed.
Oh, maybe that's why you don't play your 3DS as much. Because I played a lot of Dragon Quest in bed. I would just lay there and play it.
I mean, it's
and
different.
I'm like, it's 6 hours later, and I was supposed to go to bed at like 1. And it's
right. If I have a day off and I'm feeling a little under the weather, I'll stay in bed all day, and that'll be the time I use the Switch. I won't sleep then, but
yeah,
man, I thought Zelda was beautiful, and I'm sure I'll notice that now that you're pointing it out to me. I'll be looking for it, and we could probably even find it online in some videos that people have posted.
Oh, sure. Yeah,
I was ready to keep playing it. I didn't want to give it up. And
oh no, I didn't want to give it up either.
The lady kept reminding us, you have 8 minutes left. You have 4 minutes.
Yeah, it's
left.
like stop.
No.
Yeah, I wanted to keep playing it too. Like I felt like I didn't do enough. Like I wanted to do more, and I like I said, I felt like it was too much. Like,
did you put clothes on?
I'd put clothes on. Yeah,
I put clothes on.
I should have not though. It's just to, like,
thinking back on it, I wish I would have ran around shirtless.
I kind of wish I would have like gone the opposite way of what you're supposed to do, because I wasn't sure. Like I was afraid I was going to get killed like pretty early. Like I didn't know how many, because I know there's some pretty hard guys in there. I mean, I killed myself. I didn't get to my second death. I jumped off the tower and I died there. The second time that I died was in the water. I drowned because I didn't know. I didn't know you could run out of stamina and that you die when you ran out of stamina. I thought you just swim slower. So I try to cross to the next part and I die in the water.
Hopefully there's a Zora scale or something you get eventually where that's not a problem.
Well, because I was hitting the stamina bar a lot because, I think that my guys should normally walk faster than they normally do, in most games like that.
Well, especially when you got a 20-minute time limit and you're trying to do as much as you can. You want to run everywhere.
Well, any sort of adventure open world thing like that, like even when I'm playing like Yakuza 0, I hold down the X button to do the extra. I do the stamina. I do the stamina on Final Fantasy 15 too.
I did
to try to run as fast as I can.
On Grand Theft Auto 5, my running meter was leveled all the way up really fast because I would constantly tap the button.
Yeah, because I try to get to wherever I can fast, if I can. So, but yeah, it looks great. I mean, I didn't really learn anything more than what I've seen on the internet about it.
No,
and I didn't really think that it looked a whole lot different than the Wii U one did, but. Then again, I don't really know because I didn't play both of them.
Right, they'd have to be side by side.
Yeah, but I thought it looked. Yeah, for some reason I thought it looked sharper on the handheld. But
maybe
that could be
the pixels are shrunk down.
Yeah, I mean I think maybe that's just because it's 720, and maybe it just looks better like that. I don't know.
Screen 1/8 of the size or 1/10 of the size.
Oh yeah, so it's gonna look sharper.
You're squashing all the pixels down, right?
Yeah, but I liked it, and they gave us headphones, even though I didn't feel like it was loud enough.
No.
Like I wanted to be louder so I could. But I played the first part.
She didn't like it when I touched the volume on the headphones. She's like, nah.
I was messing with it too. I was like, "Oh, turn them up! Come on, I want to hear it more." But yeah, there was a Master Sword there you could play with, and there was like a whole like rock area of it. But man, I can't wait to play it. But yeah, I wish I would have had more time.
Right.
I mean, I know everybody would want to play that one, and I understand they did it to where like you only get this certain amount of time, but we're making it so everybody has 20 minutes with it.
Yeah, everybody got to play it. I think I'm very happy with the way they handled it.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was in waves of people rather than, you're just waiting for one person's 20-minute demo to be up. They move on and then someone else comes in. Yeah. Something about that mutual experience with all the other people playing it and everybody kind of having that same, oh crap, I gotta do as much as I can in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun. And I was looking over at other screens a little bit. I mean, I was pretty fixated on my own screen.
Well, I looked at what you were doing, but I didn't look at anybody else.
We were like neck and neck at the end.
Yeah,
because of you dying twice, like I kind of like
you caught up to me after that.
Well, there's a part where you set a waypoint. It tells you to set a waypoint. I set my waypoint and then I took it off again, and then I was running towards the wrong thing. So that took me off, and I was running towards some other monument that was on the map. So she had to say, "Oh, you know how to make a waypoint, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, you go to the map and hit the button." I go to it, and I hadn't even, I had turned it on and off. So that took me back. But I mean, I had fun because I was running around killing bad guys, and it was just the bokoblins that I ran into. Oh, I ran into one chew jelly.
Oh, you found a choo-choo?
But I only hit him one time, and he was dead.
Yeah, all I found was the bokoblin guys.
I hit it. The choo-choo was one hit, and he was dead. Like I was like expecting a fight.
Did you find any food?
Apples.
Okay, because I
climbed a tree and took some apples.
I had some mushrooms and acorns, and actually I had fallen. I fell off the tower again, like as I got down there, and I had like 1/4 of a heart left.
Oh, so you ate some food?
So I ate a bunch. So I ate like a bunch of mushrooms, and
I didn't even try that.
I ate everything. I ate everything I had because I thought I was about to die again, and I found a fish too. I found a bass that I ate raw, and it gave me like 2 hearts.
How did you just find a bass? You grabbed it out of the water?
Yeah, I didn't like fish or anything. I found it by the water. Yeah,
you had a very different experience than I did.
Yeah, I found a bass and it was a raw bass, and I just ate it right when I got it. Right before I was about to go into that thing, like right before it shut off, I guess. But yeah, I mean, 20 minutes. There's just so little you can do, I guess, in 20 minutes. Some games don't even start in 20 minutes. What about like Okami? Like you won't even see.
Thanks for playing.
Yeah. It would just be a whole lot of. Yeah, I really should have just skipped through, I should have skipped through the beginning more than I could have. I started doing it once I figured out how to do it, but yeah, skip all that stuff. I should have just played, not tried to get to the next part. I felt like that kind of hindered my playthrough, or my test or demo or whatever.
I remember the first time I saw the trailer for Breath of the Wild when they gave it its name. So I think that would have been an E3, right? Mm-hmm. At the very end, it's like, wake up, Link. I remember thinking that was really cool when I watched it that time. When I'm playing the demo, I was like, okay, I'm fucking awake.
Leave me alone.
This is the 4th time he told me to wake up. This isn't the beginning of Chrono Trigger. Just let me get up. Let me just get the iPad thing in the game and let's start playing.
Yeah. Well, it's basically, the Sheikah Slate is the Wii. It's supposed to be the Wii U gamepad.
Yeah.
Because that's what it was originally supposed to be.
What was the other thing I said? I don't know. I feel like the lady that was helping us out was just in a good mood. She was a lot of fun because she was laughing at everything I said, which made me feel like I was a funny guy.
Oh yeah, I liked that she enjoyed that I was trying to kill the old man. She thought that was hilarious.
Like I was when I got a map or something. Oh, I think it was before the tower rose. So like a bunch of some kind of essence collects and then it drips onto your thing. And I'm like, you get water all over my iPad or something like that.
Yeah, I remember it splashing, and I was like, "Oh God!" And she said something. She that was funny. But yeah, no, everybody seemed like really happy and nice for the most part.
And there were people switching around to the different
they
stations, and they all seemed like they knew their shit. I really liked the answer the Sonic guy gave when you were like, "So when do you think this will be coming out?" That has yet to be revealed. Or he said it
that yet to be. He said to be determined or something like that. Yeah.
So I thought that was a nice, honest way to answer that question instead of pretending like you knew the answer.
Oh yeah, sure.
Instead of trying to say sometime in the 3rd quarter this year or whatever.
Yeah, Q4, whatever. Yeah, I like there was that one. The guy we played Bomberman with the guy, and then we played Fast Racing Remix with the guy, and he's like, "Oh, you're back," and I'm like, "No, we played Bomberman with you earlier." and here, film us again.
Yeah. Oh, and that's another thing. I don't know if we mentioned it, but all the people,
filmed us playing stuff.
they wanted to. Everybody was like, take pictures, take videos, blah blah blah. They even gave us like some kind of a guide. I've got it right here.
Yeah, they gave us a piece of paper, like basically giving us limits, being like, "Hey,
maybe we'll put a picture of this on the site."
Yeah, you can only record this part for like 5 minutes, or you can only record 20 minutes of Zelda. Which
as far as I know, all that would happen of this is if for some random reason,
if they found it online, they'd pull it from YouTube.
Yeah, but I really don't think they actually cared
because we have like 20 minutes of Puyo Tetris that we could post if we wanted to. You know, which we're not
so much
to.
of this is just repeated over and over again. Oh, this has all the name of the games on it. We could have just looked at this.
Is there anything we forgot?
Nope.
Yeah, that we haven't talked about yet on this here podcast.
Yeah, so I guess they really want you to use the hashtags and acknowledge that you were at this event and stuff if you're going to post stuff, which I haven't done with the few things I've posted so far. So I post
stuff on Twitter like that with the hashtag, but I guess you could do it on Facebook too.
I don't have a Twitter really.
Yeah, our Twitter is NintenDomain.
Oh yeah, we'll be putting some stuff up, so this is cool. But yeah, maybe we'll put a screen cap of the sheet. It's actually really not that interesting. It's just the same thing repeated for each title, really.
Yeah, well, you can post on the Facebook if you want on our Facebook /NintenDomain.
But yeah, it was very obvious that they wanted us to, as a collective, they wanted us to spread the word of the Switch and.
Yeah.
Get videos.
Spread the gospel of the Switch.
What's the first thing they gave us when we got there? I thought it was a bag, but I guess it's a
cleaner, right? Like a screen cleaner?
Do you want to talk about the swag?
Yeah,
was there anything else we want to say about Zelda? Because really, I mean,
we just didn't have a whole lot of time with it. I still can't wait to play it.
I'm excited.
It's weird I found it weird that he's right-handed now, but you push a button on the left side of the button to swing I'm like, he should be swinging with his left hand, damn you.
And it's really weird to jump.
I didn't understand why. I didn't understand because they said it was like that it made sense with the control setup, but it did not make sense with the control setup to me. But yeah, we got what looks like something that you would clean your 3DS with. That's what I think it is.
One of those like microfiber cloths.
Yeah,
it says Nintendo Switch on it.
We got a pin. We got a Switch pin.
Yeah, like a pin you pin to your shirt.
So yeah,
we got a Switch cookie.
Switch pin, not to be confused with Lynch pin. Whatever that, I don't know.
The Switch cookie is pretty hilarious.
Yeah, we got a Switch cookie on the way out. There were red and white M&Ms, Switch M&Ms. Mm-hmm. There's Switch pretzels. There were Switch gummy bears.
Yep, Switch gummy bears.
Which I ate the pretzels and the gummy bears because I was kind of starving. I was also getting very thirsty from the pretzels, but there was nothing to drink. So I was upset that
There's a water fountain by the bathroom.
Yeah, we couldn't get a chocolate shake. But yeah, overall it was a fun time. It was just a lot to take in. I mean, yeah, the Switch is cool. It's tiny. I want to ask you, like, looking at the Switch, playing the Switch, the handheld, do you think that you would take that out in public? Do you think you would take it in the wild, your Switch?
I will if I'm, like, for instance, like, when I came up to visit you today, I
played
was on the train for 3 hours. That's totally a place I'd bring the Switch. I mean, they've even got, the seats have plugs, so I can plug it in and I wouldn't have to worry about the battery life. I'll bring it when I go visit my family. When I visit them, I'll take the Switch with me so that they can experience it. And I'll bring it out in public. I mean, I don't really travel on public transport that often.
Yeah. I mean, would you carry it in your pocket? Like with the...
No.
I mean, it seems so big. It seems...
I would have to get a case if I was going to carry that shit around for as much as it costs.
Well, we were recording stuff with an iPhone 6 Plus.
Yeah.
And the screen of the Switch is about as big as an iPhone 6 Plus.
That's a really good approximation.
So if you're wondering how big it is, so it's that with the two pest dispensers on the side. Uh-huh. So that's about the size of it.
And it feels really wide in your hands when you hold it.
Yeah, it's not really portable. Like, I think it's bigger. I mean, I think it's a little bit bigger than the 3DS XL. Except probably a little bit flatter. Like, not as thick.
Yeah, it's flat.
But I think it's longer. I think it's, like, taller.
It really was. I don't know, because I've watched so much media about it online that I kind of was expecting it, but still. The dock is tiny. The whole thing is really not a whole lot bigger than the NES Mini.
Yeah, that dock is tiny. Like, I thought the dock was going to be the size of the Wii, but it's not. It's smaller than that. Like, just like of the Wii or the Wii U, like regular, you know. It's about half of that and like skinnier than that.
It's a little itty bitty thing. And
you could put it under your TV, like right there, and it's not going to, because I was wondering like where to put it. And I'm like, you can just totally put it like right in front of your TV and it's not going to go into the screen area. You know, It's probably shorter than like the bottom of my CRT TV here. it could probably fit under there without going over the screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've been wondering how I'm going to set it up too, because this system might live in my living room, and then, I can just take the tablet into my office when I want to play it in my office.
Yeah, and hopefully there's you can use some sort of separate charging thing or something like that and have it in 2 different areas if you need to.
Maybe eventually get a second dock if they're really cheap or on sale or something, which I don't know.
Well, yeah, if you had the money to, you could buy a dock and put it at your parents' house, like when you go home, and then just like, here you go, it's on the TV, pull it out, play it, take it back to your place, boom. Or if you have like multiple TVs and you want to put it from one to another, $90 for another one, I guess isn't that bad.
But truly, by the time you spend the money on the dock and the extra controllers and all that, you've already over halfway crossed the threshold of buying another Switch.
Yeah.
So it almost makes more sense to have 2 Switches instead of buying all the extra peripherals.
Yeah, I haven't really broken it down to like how much the actual like tablet part of the Switch is, but it doesn't seem to be that expensive if you take out all of the costs. Because it's like $90 for the dock, so that's what, like $210 now off the price. So let's say it's, what is it, $80 for the 2 Joy-Cons?
Yeah.
So the 2 Joy-Cons off of $210 is what, like $130?
Yeah.
So I guess that would be it, right? Like $130 for the, I mean, if you say like, if the grip thing that comes with it, say that's like $10, so maybe like $120 for the actual tablet part, I think. Of course, we didn't try to touch the tablet. We didn't do that.
I did.
Did you try hitting the home button? I thought about doing that on Zelda, but I didn't do it.
I can't remember what game it was I was playing, but I was trying to hit start by touching the screen, and it wasn't working, and the guy said, "Oh, this isn't a touchscreen enabled game."
Oh, okay. Because I tried...
it was more of one of those, like, a force of habit thing more than me, like, trying to experience the touchscreen.
I tried to play Street Fighter Ultra because I wanted to change the controls around. I tried pausing Splatoon also, and that didn't work.
Right, well, we were playing multiplayer stuff.
Yeah.
That would have made everyone else have to wait while you paused it.
Well, no, I mean, it could be like I would just pause and they just kill me. You know, like
okay.
You do on PC games, and they went in and paused them. But I tried pausing Street Fighter, and that didn't work. I kept hitting the start button. It just didn't do anything. I think Snipper Clips it didn't either. I think they just disabled the start. But you could actually pause Zelda, because while we were playing Zelda, I paused it and changed the camera angle to, I changed the camera to I flipped it. I flipped the vertical. I changed it to inverted vertical on the camera, because I don't like doing it the other way. So at least I was able to do that while we were playing it. So that was cool. I took a quick pause and changed the camera angle to inverted for vertical. But yeah, overall it was a good show, right? You enjoyed it?
It was great.
It worth your time to come up here and check it out?
Oh yeah, and I'm glad that my friend Kyle, I don't know if you're ever going to listen to this, Kyle, but thank you for covering my shift at work so I could come to this event.
Thank you, Kyle.
Definitely, it sounds like grandiose speech. It definitely was a once in a lifetime opportunity. I'm never going to get to play the Switch before it's released ever again.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm glad that. Thank you, Nintendo, for inviting me, and I was glad that we both got to go.
Thank you, Trey, for inviting me. Yes.
Well, of course, yeah. We got to have you got to have the domain there.
Player 2.
Got to put our domain on the place.
And we didn't really chill out the podcast while we were there. We were way too distracted by.
Well, we didn't really have time. We didn't really have time to talk to people. If I was there like by myself and I played multiplayer with a couple guys and like we had a good conversation, then I might have been like, hey, I got a podcast. But for this, we just didn't really have time to, And I'm sure there was other people that had podcasts.
Well, I mean, they let you bring a guest, but I think I understand why, because then you were always with your friend for all those 2-player games.
Yeah, because they have everything's like pretty much set up 2 players, so you can do. And a lot of people were like, they were couples, so they were friends, like. You could tell there were a lot of 2s. A lot of 2. Well, obviously, because you could only have 2 tickets at the most,
Right.
So, but yeah, it was pretty cool. Got some street passes. Got like 10 street passes from bringing my 3DS. I saw 3DS out. I saw a girl playing 3DS on my way out. So I'm sure people brought their 3DSs. But fun stuff.
Didn't see anyone from the
no Bill Trennan.
No Bill Trennan. No Reggie. No Shigeru.
Yeah. I mean, the only people, nobody from NBC. I mean, the only person I thought I'd recognize is
Greg.
Yeah. But, there was a guy that I street passed there. I think he might have been running the show or maybe he was playing it there. But I street passed him at Avengers 2 and I think I told him to shut up when we watched the movie.
Really?
Yeah, cause he kept talking. I told him to shut up and he's like, fuck you. And I'm like, be quiet, dude. I'm trying to watch a movie. But, I think I street passed him there cause I street passed him a second time on the DS. So I thought that was funny. I was like, oh, that guy, but I didn't see him, but I remembered that was the guy from that theater that we yelled at. But yeah, good stuff. I guess that's our show. That's episode 57. Is there anything else you want to say about the Switch?
Not really,
show
man. I have a feeling that some more stuff will probably pop into my head before we do our cast next week. But we've got one more cast before Switchmas.
Yeah, we have our Majora's Mask cast, right? Is what we're going to do next. That's our next episode, and as a Zelda countdown, because we've done like console release countdown stuff, but we haven't really done any Zelda stuff because we're also getting a big Zelda game on the same day, so that's a big deal.
Yeah, I think it's important.
So we're gonna cover what I think is my personal favorite Zelda game, and we're gonna have a guest.
We're planning on having a guest. Let's hope that works out.
Okay, yeah, no, that'd be great if we have a guest because I love talking to people about Majora's Mask and like what they thought of it, and I'm gonna try my hardest to get some like Let's Play Majora's Mask stuff out before we do the thing next week.
Oh, cool.
So I already did one Let's Play with Jess for the beginning of it, but I'm going to try to do a Let's Play for the first dungeon, maybe the second dungeon if I have time.
Cool.
But I want to like try to Let's Play the rest of the game and like record it and put it on YouTube. So you have that to look forward to. So I'm at least going to do 2 more. I'd like to do the whole game though and eventually put it on there. So that's what I'm going to try to work on. Hopefully get it done before the next episode's up. So that's what you have to look forward to.
What episode are we on? Is this 58 or 57?
This is 57.
57, okay.
So 59 will be the official Switch one.
The official Switch
when Switch is released. And 58 will be Majora's Mask. It's too bad we could delay it, and then 60 would be the Switch one.
I know, I was thinking the same thing.
But no, this is 57. But yeah, thanks for listening to us. If you got to go to the Switch event wherever you were, I hope you enjoyed it. We definitely enjoyed it, and follow us on Facebook /NintenDomain. NintenDomainPodcast.com is our regular website where you can find links to the show and all that. You can find us on iTunes and where most other podcasts are sold. You can, I'm on Twitter. I said it before, Ninten_domain. You can email us at NintenDomainPodcast@gmail.com. I've been saying for a long time NintenDomain.podcast@gmail, but I just found out that those dots don't matter. You don't got to put them on there. You can just put NintenDomainPodcast@gmail and totally email us. So you don't got any excuses anymore. Send us some emails. But yeah, we've been your hosts. I'm Trey Johnson.
I'm Jerry Mikowski.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Stay cool. Stay Nintendo.
Stay Nintendo.